Hey, it's Brian from Strong Tower again. Wanted to share with you a client conversation that I had this morning. And this is from somebody who's sweet lady in her 60s or 70s. And she is asking me, as I start training with you, why do I need a nap in the afternoon on the training days? So why am I actually more fatigued on the days specifically that we're doing sessions? And this was my response or my answer. I just wanted to share it because I think it's very useful in terms of understanding metabolically if you're after weight loss or you're after a muscle definition goal or some body composition goal, how important it is to actually look at neurologically based exercise. Not just going to the gym, not just strength training on machines, but actually driving more caloric expenditure, energy expenditure, and basically metabolic drive through the brain itself. That's our training model, that's what we specialize in. And so here's a quick example. If on Monday I'm driving my car and I want to go from Michigan and I'm taking a road trip down to Indiana. Let's say I put this much gas in my gas tank, I fill it up. So I can probably get from middle southern Michigan down to Indiana and be okay on one tank of gas. So from a fueling standpoint, it's great for me to make my trip on Monday and get where I want to go. Then let's say on Tuesday, we take a second person and they want a road trip from Michigan down to Georgia. So on their way down to Georgia, they're going to put this much gas in the tank, or they're going to fill it up, same car, fill up the gas tank, same amount of fuel. They're going to get partway to Georgia, and if they don't stop and fill up the gas tank, they're going to run out of fuel on Tuesday. So from a session standpoint and a human metabolism energy level standpoint, we know that 25 to 30% of our daily calories are burned by the brain. So we actually have this big metabolic drive from this little tiny organ that sits up here called the brain that runs the show, by the way, and it is burning 25 to 30% of your daily calories. What happens when you neuro train or you brain train with your three system approach here of vision, vestibular, and then movement? First two are important, vision and vestibular first, and we consistently do drills in those categories to help people with things like balance, cognition, flexibility, and strength. Then number three is movement. That's the first thing people think of and do when they go to the gym, but it's actually last on our priority list. What does this do? It increases that 25 to 30% kilocalorie burn from your brain itself. So that's one, energy demand goes up. The second here, on a glucose and blood sugar standpoint, is your brain is a big fuel hog on the glucose side of things too. So when you look at percentages of how much glucose, your glucose stores in your body are burned by the brain on a daily basis, it's 50%, potentially more if you're doing this style of training. So we're taking 50% of your glucose or your glycogen stores and we're consuming that metabolically just with the organ called the brain. So the response to this client this morning was this car analogy, and we got to fuel up on the days that we're actually training and doing neuro-based training. Why? Because we want to change the brain, we want to make you a better mover, and we want to do it within the stress and recovery guidelines that are going to help you maximize your progress. So hope that makes sense, and it was a great conversation this morning with the client, so I just wanted to share it, and again, I hope it helps. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll talk to you soon. It helps to know your neurology.